Okay, there we go. So let's make a start. So welcome everybody. Thanks for tuning in. The eagle-eyed among you may have noticed that I am not Vidyamala. She couldn't make it this week, so I'm going to be kind of holding space, leading something quite simple. So yeah, what I wanted to focus on just in this kind of quick session is the difference between attention and awareness. So it's a kind of simple little difference, but it's something that I found quite helpful in my meditation practice. So attention and awareness. So they're often kind of used interchangeably, but I'm kind of going to be using a particular meaning, a particular definition of them. So attention is, I mean, kind of, I feel like everybody knows what attention is. It's like when we say that we're paying attention to something, like that's attention. And when we're kind of absorbed in, a good book or a task, or, when we're meditating and we're kind of really with the meditation object, that's attention. Whereas awareness is a kind of different way of, different mode of knowing. So right now you're paying attention to me, hopefully, and the sound of my voice and so on. But there are lots of things that you're aware of at the same time. So, you can see what room you're in. You kind of are aware of the position of your body. If there are sounds coming from outside or in the background, you can hear them. So you become aware of them without needing to take attention away from what you're doing. So you're probably looking at the screen right now, but you can still kind of see the room around the screen kind of in your peripheral vision. So hopefully that kind of gives you a sense of the difference. And where attention is kind of very detailed, like a telescope or something like that, awareness is kind of very broad and inclusive, like a radar. So, you have your peripheral vision, you've got body sensations, kind of background sounds in your awareness, but not in very much detail. So they're kind of there, but they're all kind of in the background. So an analogy I find quite useful to kind of speak to this difference between attention and awareness is if you imagine that you're walking across a busy room with a cup full of water, you need to pay attention to the water to make sure you don't spill it. But you also need awareness of the kind of people and furniture and things like that in the room as you walk to make sure that you don't bump into anyone. So you have attention on the water and awareness of the room. So why is this useful? Like, what does this have to do with meditation? So in the same way, if you're carrying a cup full of water across a busy room, you need attention and awareness. And in meditation as well, it kind of helps to have both. So you have your attention on the meditation object, like everybody who's meditated before kind of knows, is sort of familiar with that. But it's also helpful to have awareness of your mind as well, a kind of like open awareness. So if there are kind of distractions present, they don't catch us by surprise as much. We can kind of notice them and decide not to engage with them. If there's tension in the body, for example, we know to relax. So this kind of broader awareness of the mind is really useful. And often what we can kind of find ourselves doing is kind of like trying to hyper focus on the meditation object. Like we're kind of getting so close to it that we can't see anything else. But in like in this analogy of carrying water across the room, if you do that, you're going to bump into somebody. And it's not necessary to hyper focus, to kind of have that tunnel vision where you're just focused like really so intensely on that one thing that you're like trying to cut everything else off. It's not necessary to do that. So in this kind of meditation, we're going to try and get a kind of feel for that balance of attention and awareness. So anyway, I'll stop prattling on. We can get some practice done. So finding a posture that's conducive to practice, something that feels comfortable but alert. You can close your eyes if that's comfortable. Just settling in the body. Maybe taking a couple of deep breaths. And just tuning in, noticing if there's any tension present in the body. Any tension or tightness, contraction, maybe in the brow or in the shoulders. And seeing if you can just let that go. And taking a moment to appreciate the feeling of a relaxed body. And in the body, noticing the breath. Wherever it arises. Just watching the breath moving in the body. And wherever we feel the breath most distinctly, whether it's in the nostrils or the belly or somewhere else, just allowing attention to rest on that area. Noticing the sensations of the breath. Sensations of the in-breath and the sensations of the out-breath. And just taking a moment to appreciate any pleasant aspects of the sensations of the breath. Maybe there's a pleasant coolness, a pleasant warmth. Maybe a tingle or a vibration. Even if it's very small, very subtle. See if you can notice that pleasant quality. And checking the body to see if any tension has crept back in anywhere. Might be tensing up in the shoulders, for example. And if so, just see if you can relax and return your attention to the breath. And noticing how you can be aware of the relaxation in the body, even as you pay attention. You may have a quiet sense in the background that your body is relaxed, even though you're paying attention to the breathing. If you've been meditating for a while, you might be familiar with the experience of correcting your posture. If you've started to slump, for example, during a meditation, and that's just awareness of the body. noticing whether attention is still on the sensations of breathing. You may again just want to check if there's any tension in the body. And then again, returning your attention to the breath, noticing how awareness of the body can continue even while you have a very clear sense of sensations of breathing. So with this awareness of the body, you may notice the relaxation if you're relaxed. If you start to tense up somewhere, you might notice that. If emotions arise, you may be aware of them arising, manifesting as body sensations. While you meditate on the breath. And noticing how these things can just arise and pass away in that space of awareness. Without disrupting the breath. And maybe even without pulling our attention away from the breath. So again, just briefly checking in on the state of your attention, seeing whether you're still attending to the breath. Letting go of any distractions that might have arisen. And you might start to notice other experiences arising in awareness. So in addition to the feeling of the body, you may be aware of emotions, mental images, sounds, thoughts, and other kinds of internal audio. If you have a song stuck in your head, noticing that we can be aware of the state of the mind as well as the body. So we don't need to do anything. Every time you become aware of a thought, that's already awareness doing its job. In the same way that body sensations can arise and pass away in awareness as we attend to the breath. So thoughts and mental images, emotions can arise and pass away in awareness. We don't need to block them out or try and stop them from happening. So when attention and awareness are balanced, things can arise in awareness without disturbing attention. Feeling the sensations of the breath. You could imagine taking a step back from the meditation object So there's a little bit of space around these sensations of breathing. So in your own time, coming to the end of the meditation, so you can start to wiggle your fingers and toes. You have a stretch. Open your eyes if you want to. So, thanks everybody for coming. How does Vidyamala usually wrap these up? If you want to put, we've still got a couple of minutes left. If you want to put how you found it in the comments, that would be interesting. Fabulous. Great. Glad to hear it. Good. Relaxing. Good. Interesting. Good. Good, good, good. Glad to hear it. Seems mostly positive. Great. Cool. All right. Well, Vidyamala will be here next week. So do tune in again. And I'll see you there. I'll be here for tech support, so I'll see you then. And take care. Have a good week. Thanks for coming again. Oh yes, this will be available on YouTube. Yeah, it will. Bye guys. Have a good evening.